Hi guys, this is just a little video response for Pamela from Gypsy Girl Crafts. Pamela watched one of my older videos and I think it was called Fabric Sample Book 50 Shades of Blue or something like that. And if you haven't watched that, I'll put the link in the comments box below so that you know what I'm talking about, and you may want to watch that video before you finish watching this video, otherwise you won't have any idea what I'm talking about. But Pamela watched that video and she recently just asked me a question: how did I attach my fabric pages? So each page in that fabric sample book is fabric, not actual paper. But for this demonstration I'm going to use paper just to show you, because I really don't want to spend time cutting up fabric at the moment. Plus my sewing desk is an absolute mess, so I've got nowhere to cut it up at the moment. Anyway, the idea of that journal, I explained it in the video. It was pretty much just for people that maybe don't have a lot of room to store fabric, and I thought I would just make a little fabric sample book so that, you know, you could have a whole book of one color theme fabric. At the time I was going to make, you know, one blue book, one green, one red, that sort of thing. And my idea was you could just put it on a bookshelf and it would take up minimal room instead of having a lot of fabric. And the idea was just for people that want to use little bits of fabric on tags or in their journals as embellishments, but they don't necessarily want heaps of fabric. You know, they're not going to sew and cut fabric and all that sort of stuff. So that was the idea behind my blue fabric sample book. And I'm going to just pop in a picture of that book here. Okay, so that's what the cover looked like, and a few of the pages. So each page is a piece of fabric. Anyway, that book, it had 50 pages, and all 50 pages were different types of fabric. So the way I did it, because you know when you make a normal journal, you usually have your pages and you fold them in half. So I'm using paper, but just imagine this is fabric. So your normal journals, you get a piece of paper and you fold it in half and then you stitch them in. Now, because I wanted 50 pages of different materials, I didn't want two pages the same. So I didn't want to fold a piece of fabric in half because then I've got two pages the same. I wanted 50 completely different and unique pieces of fabric. I had to use single pages. So what I did, I just got 50 pages or 50 pieces of blue fabric, all cut to the same size. So I know I don't have 50 here, but just pretend there's 50 pieces of fabric. And what I did, to be honest, I can't remember if I did 10 signatures with 5 pages each or 5 signatures with 10 pages each. I'm thinking that I did, because this is actually 8 months ago I think I made this. I'm thinking because of the thickness of the fabric, I'm pretty sure I would have done 10 signatures with 5 layers of fabric each. So what I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces of fabric, and then I stitched down the edge. And then I got another 5 pieces of fabric. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I stitched down the edge. Just a straight stitch, back stitch on each end. And I came up with 10 yeah, I had 5 pages of fabric in each, sorry. And I came up with 10 little signatures. So what I ended up with is 10 of these. So 5 sheets of fabric in each little signature, stitched down the side. And I've only got 3 here, but let's assume there are 10. So then I got fabric glue, and the fabric glue that I used at the time was this one. And I have had this for, I don't even know how many years. It's never dried out. And anyway, it's Craft Line acid free wash it garment glue. Now this when it dries, it does dry hard, and you can bend it and it will soften, but it initially dries hard, and it will also go through the fabric. So it is quite strong though. So that's what I used at the time. And what I did, so I'm just going to use this glue for now because it dries really quick. But yeah, just pretend this is my fabric glue. And all I did, I got my little 10 signatures and I just glued them together. Oops. So don't forget, this is fabric, you're doing it too. And look, to be honest, I didn't pin them or anything, Pamela. I'm really I'm really bad with that sort of stuff. I just kind of stuck them neatly, and when I was working, I made sure they were always neat and didn't shuffle around. So then I glued all my 10 little signatures with 5 pieces of fabric in together to come up with something like this. Then what I did, now you're going to have to put all of these little signatures into your journal cover. And at the time, if you've watched that video, I used an old encyclopedia because I wanted the pages of the fabric pages to be quite big. A regular novel, you're not going to have a very big sample of fabric doing it this way. So I used an encyclopedia cover, which is quite big, and I'm going to pretend this was my encyclopedia cover. And all I pretty much did, so I decorated the front. I did a kind of quilty type thing, collage on the front. I fabric lined inside with some blue fabric. And then I got my little bundle of signatures, my little bundle of fabrics, and I need to now glue this into my cover. So in order to do that, I wanted to make sure it's strong and use fabric glue again. So I just got a little strip of fabric, and sorry, this is really rough and ready. This is just to give you an idea. And if you watch the video, you'll be able to follow what I'm doing with this anyway. Anyway, so I got my little signatures that have been all stitched and glued together. And then I just did a little fabric wrap around like that. And I was going to make one of each colour at the time, but after my blue one sat there in my shop for almost 3 months, so I didn't bother. But mind you, my shop was really new at that stage, so and I didn't have a lot of, I only just opened my shop, Etsy shop, and my YouTube at the same time. So I didn't have many subscribers or a presence on Etsy either. So once I had the fabric glued on like that, and I let it dry overnight because that fabric glue that I have, it takes quite long to dry. Then once I did that, so I've already fabric wrapped my inside covers, and I've reinforced the spine with some cardboard, and then I pretty much just glued this into the spine of my journal like that. And I think I'm probably bulldog clipped it and let it dry overnight. So let me get some clips. So I probably, I'm pretty sure at the time I clipped it. Clipped. And then I stood it up like this between 2 bottles or something like that, just so that the fabric is sitting down in the spine, and then I let that dry overnight. Then when that was dry the next day, I just finished off, just tidied it up a bit. So this was already covered with fabric. This is done. And then all I did, I think I used some blue lace at the time. I had some, I've still got some pretty blue stretch lace. And I just glued that to there, just to neaten it up, because, you know, now you've got this glued there. So just to tidy it up a bit, I glued some lace down that side, and then I also glued a piece of lace in the back as well, and I was done. And that's how I made my little fabric sample book. Pamela, I saw you did post a video today where you've made a purple one. Sorry, because you were probably sick of waiting for me to do my video. I said I'd do it last week and I haven't had a chance. And your idea was actually great. So what Pamela's done, because she got sick of waiting for me. Sorry, Pamela. So Pamela actually did it a different way. Pamela's made it in the style of kind of like a flowish journal. So you would put all your, she's put one big piece of fabric, kind of folded in half like you would with a journal, put them into the signature all stacked on each other, and then I couldn't see properly on your video, Pamela, but I think you may have used some elastic or something around the cover to hold all the pages in. And your idea is great as well, because you can pull that piece of fabric out of the elastic if you want, and you can also insert new pieces as you come across them. And like you said, at the very end, if you've finished all your fabric, used it all up, you can reuse the journal cover for something else. But yeah, I did consider that way at the time, but because I was being a bit tongue-in-cheek, because at the time 50 Shades of Grey was out, I did 50 Shades of Blue, and to fold them over like that with 50 different pieces of fabric would have meant that there were 100 pages, or I would have, if I did 25 pieces folded over, meaning then there were 50 pages, not front and back, just pieces, then I would have, you know, doubles of each type of fabric. So that's why I went with this option, just so that I could have 50 individual pieces of fabric that were all different. Anyway, I hope that answers your question. And Pamela, you did also leave in your comment, you you also said, is it okay to steal your idea? Of course. The reason I post videos is to encourage people to recycle and to, buy and use handmade and recycled items wherever you can in your crafts rather than new items or mass-produced items. And yeah, the only reason I have my YouTube channel is to recycle. I've kind of always said I don't feel like I'm a crafter. I feel like I'm a recycler, and recycling is one of my passions, I suppose. And everything I share on my channel, use it. To be honest, I don't think there's any new ideas. I'm pretty sure people have made little fabric sample books themselves. I actually originally got the idea from one of those upholstery sample books that you can get, and I thought, oh, those would be really good for crafters to use. And so yeah, to be honest, there's not a lot of new ideas anymore. A lot of people think something may be their idea, but yeah, chances are a lot of things have been done anyway. And I'm all about sharing ideas where I can. And if you see something on my channel, I haven't been doing a lot of crafty stuff lately, but if you see anything on my channel, yeah, go for it. I don't feel it's copying, just do it. Most of my stuff, I always think that, for me, when I come up with the idea, it's an original idea for me, but then when you upload your video into YouTube then goes recommending a whole bunch of videos that are kind of similar to yours. And yeah, then you find out, well, your idea you thought was new and yours has been done like 1,000 times before anyway. So yeah, whatever you see on my channel, yeah, go for it, do it. I encourage you to recycle anyway. And if you have any questions on anything, yeah, just ask. I'm always happy to help. Sorry, I know this was a bit of a knock-up explanation, but I think you get the idea. That's it. I think I'll stop yapping now. And yeah, thanks for watching. And Pamela, your journal turned out absolutely amazing. I'm going to put the link to Pamela's channel as well. I'm sure you all know her as well. Amazing crafter, really beautiful person, and I love your purple fabric book. It was funny because, sorry, I'm still talking, but I'll tell you one more thing. After I made my blue fabric sample book, somebody did actually ask me, could I make another one for them, a custom one, but in purple. And at the time I said, look, let me just check because I don't have a lot of purple. And yeah, as it turns out, I only had 5 or 6 pieces of purple fabric at the time. And I've got a lot of blues, a lot of greens, and a lot of browns. Not a lot of purples. And so yeah, I didn't end up making her one. But Pamela, I will definitely send her the link to your video. And I don't know if she's still after a purple fabric sample book after all this time, but I will certainly send her the link to your video, and she may still want one. Anyway, that's it, and thanks for watching, and thank you, Pamela, for all your beautiful, kind words. Bye.